with a history of quick response codes. QR in the QR codes obviously stands for quick response codes. They were created in 1994 by Denso-Wave, which is a subsidiary of Toyota, and they're created to track vehicle parts. Denso-Wave does not, it owns the patent, but it does not enforce the patent. So for all intents and purposes, QR codes are open source technology that you're free to use. So there's no license. There's no license required to use the technology. In order to use QR codes, you have to use a QR code scanner. Here's a couple of examples. ScanLife is the QR code scanner that I use, but Shop Savvy is another popular one. And the bottom icon is for Google Goggles, which has started out as a QR code scanner, but has since transitioned into a part of Google now, and it's meant primarily to read images. So you scan images, and Google lets you know what it knows about that image. It's really sort of Google's attempt to create an algorithm for understanding images. And QR codes, I believe, are a transitional technology. This is an image of Google Glass, which was recently released in developmental version in alpha. So people pay $1,500 to get a pair of Google glasses and test them out and be beta or alpha testers for them. So they're very early in the mental stage, but they are going to be a consumer product. And Google Glass is augmented reality for all intents and purposes. There's a video camera attached to that. You can see information overlaid on the screen that hovers above the eye. So what this really is you look at all the different trends that are converging with ubiquitous mobile broadband. You've got GPS signals. The Google Glass is attached to your phone, tethered to your phone, so you get internet access through your phone and GPS signal through your phone. Voice technology activated, so and with gesture controls. So there's effortless input. This is a move towards more and more. We're moving towards natural computing, motion capture, image recognition, audio recognition, gestures. All those things are pointing towards effortless input into your computer, and that's not exactly what QR codes are. QR codes require you think about how people use QR codes, and you have to, one, recognize the QR code out in the wild on a product or a business card or what have you, understand that it's a QR code, think to scan it, then take your phone out of wherever you're holding your phone, launch your QR code scanning app, and hold the phone up to the QR code and wait for it to recognize it. And that's a very cumbersome process when you think about this move towards effortless computing and effortless input. And so therefore, again, I think these are transitional technology, but there's a lot of people that are still using it, and the transition is going to take time. So QR codes are still fine to use. It's just that they will eventually be replaced, I believe, by augmented reality. So anyway, what are QR codes good for? When somebody scans a QR code, you can send them to a web page. You can deliver contact information to them. You can have them trigger a phone call, so place a phone call. You can have them trigger a text message, an email, a calendar event, Wi-Fi access. So they're good for a lot of different things. Who scans QR codes? So the demographics of QR code scanners have been changing over time. This from Q1 2013 from ScanLife, which I mentioned earlier is a maker of a scanning app, and they also publish a quarterly report on the behavior of their users. So I like their data because it's actual their users. Their data demographics indicate that QR code scanners are 65% male, 6% are under 18. years of age, 14% are 18 to 24, 23% are 25 to 34, 25% are 35 to 44, 18% are 45 to 54, and 14% are over 55 years of age. 57% of QR code scanners use an Android phone, 41% use an Apple iOS phone, and 2% are other. So it's millennials and Gen X that are primarily using QR codes, scanning QR codes. So where are people scanning QR codes? Well, they are scanning on products. 56% scan on a product, 46% in magazines, 45% on a coupon, 27% in a newspaper ad, 21% in a catalog, 17% on TV, 16% in an outdoor ad. The typical place that people scan QR codes is at home, in a controlled environment, and so the most effective way, it's less of a hassle when people have the leisure to sit around at home and scan QR codes. When you're out and about and there's other things going on, it's going to be more of a hassle, and people are going to be less likely to scan QR codes. So think about the context in which people are going to be scanning your QR code. And again, scanning day parting is 60% of people scan from the home, and that's according to an April 2012 ComScore mobile lens survey. So, think about the context. I'm going to emphasize throughout this webcast, emphasize context when thinking of using QR codes. Put yourself in the heads of the people who are going to be using them. So why do people scan QR codes? 53% scan to get a coupon, a discount, or a deal. So here we can see a Hormel offer with a QR code. This is from a Sunday insert with a traditional coupon, and also you got a QR code for grilling ideas and more. 52% scan QR codes to get more information, 33% to enter a sweepstakes, 26% sign up for more information, 24% to watch a video. Again, that should be you thinking about the context of that. If people will have the broadband capability of watching the video effortlessly at home, they're more likely to have the Wi-Fi access in their phone connected to that Wi-Fi access to watch the video than they would when they're out and about. 23% scan QR codes to make a purchase, and 23% scan them to interact with social media. So how popular are QR codes? QR code scans by quarter from 2009 to 2012. Scans have risen to more than 15 million a quarter in Q2 2012 from 0 in Q1 2009. That's according to ScanLife. In Q2 2011, ScanLife app users scanned the QR codes at the rate of 24 scans per second. By Q2 2012, that rate had increased to 120 scans per minute. 2D barcodes now make up 76% of all codes scanned by ScanLife. So not just traditional barcodes, but QR codes as well. 72% of consumers say they have seen a QR code. 72% of consumers say they have seen a QR code, but nearly 30% do not know what it is. So the box, this funky box with a weirdly designed thing that designers hate because it's hard to deal with. This image people are recognizing, but a lot of people don't even know what it means. And so that's a problem, but some of the stats here indicate that the behavior of scanning is familiar with people. So people are starting to are doing scanning more and more. Scanning by generation, under 18 in 2012, 8% scanned of people who are under 18 years old. By 2013, the following year, this year, only 6% were scanning. 18 to 24-year-olds in 2012, 16% were scanning. That's down to 14% in 2013. 25 to 34-year-olds, 35% scanned QR codes in 2012, down 10% to 25% in 2013 in this year. 35 to 44-year-olds, 20% were scanning in 2012. By this year, 25%. That's up 5% of 35 to 44-year-olds. 45 to 54-year-olds, 12% scanned in 2012, 18% scanned in 2013. 55 years and older, 9% scanned in 2012, and 14% scanned in 2013. So it appears that millennials are falling off as far as scanning is concerned, while Gen Xers and baby boomers and even the silent generation are increasing their use of QR codes. And this may just be an effect of older people tending to lag behind adoption. But also the number of declining millennials seem to think that it might be something that they've been trying out and maybe are disaffected with it. 57% of people who scanned a QR code did nothing with the information they obtained from that QR code scan. Just 41% said that they found the information they received useful. And 42% had mixed feelings. So the behavior over time since QR codes have come to the popular imagination, scanning has increased, but recently millennials are scanning less and older people are scanning more. The behavior of scanning, as I mentioned before, is there. People are scanning. It could, QR codes could gain even greater traction if we marketers don't screw it up. And we may have already screwed it up if these most recent numbers from millennials falling off are an indication. The great thing about QR codes is that anyone can create one, and the horrible thing about QR codes is that anyone can create one. Since they're so easy to create, people do them without thinking about how they should be employing them. And as a result, since so many people are using QR codes and so many people are using QR codes so poorly, the experience that consumers are having with QR codes is often highly disappointing and a waste of time. And so if consumers are becoming acclimated to the idea that QR codes are not going to deliver them value, then it wouldn't be surprising that they would be falling off and not paying attention to them. So I think the data remains to be seen, but it's interesting that the millennials are falling off a little bit here. So so that may be the tip of the iceberg. But if you employ QR codes in a smart way, if you think about the context, if you know exactly what you want to do with them and execute well, they can be a very good tactic